Hi, welcome to Ask Bishop Zac. My tongue is is failing to say the words, but anyway, thank you so much for joining us. We have a great question, very short, straight to the point. What is a good man?
It's a very, very good question. I can imagine that somebody else might ask, "What is a good woman?"
Next day.
No, I think that they are related, but maybe let's focus on what's a good man. And as I think about it, I'm asking myself, where is this question coming from? I remember speaking to a young man, and we were talking about God as a father. And he said to me, I don't appreciate the imaginary of God as a father, because I don't know a good father, my experience of fatherhood. So in a sense, for this young man, he couldn't even imagine what a good father looks like, because the experience of fatherhood is something that was negative. He went on and said a lot more about the tyranny and so on within the family. I think it's a question that is especially pointed in this season, in this day and age, for a young woman who is seeking for somebody to spend the rest of their life together, or just a good man to be in relationship with. It's also a question that a young man can ask. What does it take to be a good man? I want to grow into a good man. I want to be. So it has very many dimensions. It's a very difficult question, I must admit. I should also say, acknowledge that I am on that path. I want to be a good man. I want to be a good man. I have longed to continue to be a good man. And I can say that I haven't arrived. I am still work in progress on being a good man. So I think I can say for myself, therefore, that in answering that question for myself, in answering that question for my role as a parent, as a father, in answering that question for my daughters who are looking for good men, who, if you ask me that question, what would I answer? So that's from where I am really coming from. And for me as a person of faith, I have discovered that who I imagine God is informs how I perceive the other, also how I perceive myself. I like this really powerful idea in Genesis, that we were made in God's image, that humanity images, reflects, and that to be totally the human being, because the question, what's a good man, is a question on what does it mean to be a good person? What does it mean to be a good human being? A good human being. And I would say that, therefore, who we imagine who God is, and as I have engaged and reflected in my faith life and in my relationship as what I seek to be, I would say that coming to conclusion that the essential character of who God is are possibly three things. I would say three. The first three is that God is love. So love. And so what does love look like? What does love look like in a man? And we could say the same thing. What does love look like in a woman? Secondly, that God is peace, shalom. God is one who is the space in which we all thrive. We all flourish. And therefore, what does a man look like who creates space, who cares that other people flourish? And then lastly, the question about justice, righteousness, which is really about power, the right ordering of power, the right ordering of relationships. Love. Love is always directed to the other. And by the other, it's not the one who looks like you, not the other that you really love. No. I think it's mostly manifested with those who are totally unlike you. Exactly. Those that you would rather hate, actually. Those that are, or even those who hate you. So I think it's the treatment of the other who's unlike you and I think that that's the test of a man. How do you treat those who despise you? How do you treat those who treat you with, how do you treat those who are not in your class, who are not in your church, who are not, do you show them, do you desire for them good? Do you work for their good? Do you create space in which, the second point, they too can flourish? You care about, so it really is a manifestation of the deep care about other humans, about the flourishing of the others. The idea of the flourishing of the other manifested in care, which therefore really means you are not preoccupied with yourself, which is self-centeredness. So you could say, what does a bad man look like? Self-centered. Pride. There is an excellent line in scripture that says pride precedes a fall. That is true. Care, and therefore humility. What does that himself look like? Awareness that I myself fail. Awareness that I myself am weak. And therefore you do not treat the other. You are not arrogant in the way you treat the others. And that also therefore relates to how do you relate to your own possessions. Do they possess you? Or do you simply realize that these are things that are to be used for the flourishing both of your family? And that therefore really comes to, so this whole idea of a life that has this sense of purposefulness, not just purpose, but purposefulness. Purposefulness in your relationships. Purposefulness in every moment you have. And what does that look like? I think the good word in our mother tongue is ubuntu. Somebody who cares about the well-being of others. Somebody who is growing into generosity, who is growing into caring for others, who is growing into seeking justice, and therefore cares for those on the margins. I mean, that's what I long for myself. And I would really hope that that's who a good man is.
Wow, thank you very much. And it's also, I think, powerful to hear that it's a journey, so people shouldn't feel the pressure of arriving.
And I really think one of the things, it's a friend of mine who said it's important to cultivate a healthy relationship with fear and failure. And I think that that's the test of a man. Your relationship with fear and failure, because we fear and we fail.
And recognize,
is it healthy? How do you live with it? And that's back to this space of love, the desire. By the way, the other is meaningful relationships. If a man doesn't have meaningful relationships, of accountability, of fun, I want to ask, because love is something tangible, visible, experiential, if that is an English word. Yeah.
It's what it looks like, for him when he's with others, with other people, not just looking at him.
And especially those that test you.
Yeah.
Thank you.